Hi, this is Nick Forster. This week in eTown, we're going to revisit one of our favorite shows, and it starts right now.
From eTown Hall in the foothills of the Rocky Mountains, it's eTown with this week's guests from New Brunswick, Canada, Matt Andersen, Sweet Relief Musicians Fund representative Bill Bennet, and from Northwestern New Jersey, Railroad Earth. I'm Helen Forster. Join me in welcoming our host, Nick Forster.
Thank you, Helen. Thanks, everybody. Welcome to eTown Hall. We're pretty glad you guys could be here. So most musicians start out playing an instrument when they're pretty young, learning songs, imagining what it would be like to be on stage or traveling around. And very few of those inspired youngsters keep it up, stick with it, and other things come and are distractions like school and kids and expenses and life get in the way. So for lots and lots of those who do stick with it, it's also not either easy or lucrative all the time once they find themselves in the world of being a professional musician. So I'm always interested in that trajectory where from the inspired kid to the working and touring musician. And this week we have 3 stories to share about that in different ways. The small Canadian town of Perth Andover in New Brunswick, I think it has a population of about 1,500 people, something like that, pretty close to the border with Maine. That's where the award-winning singer and songwriter, really a great singer who's here today, Matt Andersen, comes from. That's where he got his start. We're going to learn also about the organization called Sweet Relief that helps professional musicians in need cover medical bills or deal with other challenges that can come up. And we're going to hear from a band that has been busy touring, recording, traveling, a successful band that got its start in Stillwater, New Jersey back in 2001, but a band that has also had to face all the struggles and challenges that other bands do, loss and tragedy and other things. But they're a working band. They have a new record they recorded with Anders Osborne down in New Orleans most of the time. It has been a long time since they've been here on the eTown stage, so we're really happy they're back with us. So please help me welcome back to eTown, Railroad Earth.
Telling of a better home awaiting, waiting on the other side. There's telling of a better home awaiting, waiting for the faithful who abide. Don't you wanna fly high up like the golden eagle, high up in the sky, across the troubled waters, across the great divide? There's telling of a narrow pilgrim passage, a path to guide us on our way. There's telling of a narrow pilgrim passage, a path to guide us through these worried days. Don't you wanna come? Don't you wanna be flying like the golden eagle, off and flying free? Don't you wanna soar? Don't you wanna fly high up troubled waters, cross the great divide. And Jenny, my true love, I'll be going far away from thee, out on the bounding billows, out on the ocean deep. Jenny, my true love, take courage, dear, never cry. Wait until the clouds, wait until the clouds roll by. There's tell of joy that's flowing like a fountain, waiting on a golden shore. There's telling of a better home awaiting, where the treasures of the faithful heart are stored. Don't you wanna come? Don't you wanna be flying like the golden eagle, off and flying free? Don't you wanna soar? Don't you wanna fly? Fly up like the golden eagle, high up in the sky, across these troubled waters, across the great divide. Across these troubled waters, across the great divide. Across the troubled waters, across the great divide. blew up the mountain and carted it away. I looked at you, you knew it too. We were running wild again. Running wild again. Running wild again.
Hey, Todd Schaefer, welcome. Railroad Earth is here, back at eTown. It's been a long time.
I think it probably has.
Yeah. And it's cool to hear new songs, and we're going to talk about that in a sec. I want to start out just a little bit about learning more about your early days in Stillwater, New Jersey, or wherever the heck you grew up. Is that right?
I
Pretty
lived
close?
in Stillwater for maybe 14 years.
Yeah.
Around the time the band got started. And
Yeah.
there was, you're going to be shocked to hear it, but a little partying going on.
Oh.
And we used to do a thing called the Beer Bash every Sunday. And we were 16. The kids coming to see us were 16. And you just had to get a fake ID and come in and pay $5, and it was us playing all night long. You can imagine what that scene that created. So.
Wow. So you had basically achieved everything a young musician could ever dream of at the age of 16, which is
We had a hell of a good time.
great
let me
party.
tell you.
And we fast forward to now, and I just, congratulations to you guys for really building such a cool scene, selling lots of tickets. You have 2 festivals that you host, Hangtown and what are they called?
It's Hillberry, yeah.
Hillberry.
Down in Arkansas,
Yeah.
in the Ozarks. It's
Yeah.
it's wonderful, yeah.
And so you're the house band. So you get to invite guests that you want, and your fans come and they hang out for the weekend, and it's it's kind of a variation on your 16-year-old all-you-could-drink beer thing, basically.
Well, I guess you could say that. No, it's they're wonderful
Yeah.
events with a great spirit to them.
Yeah.
Hey, we're proud of them. They've lasted, and people enjoy them quite a bit.
And it takes a lot of work
Yeah, it sure
to
does.
pull it off, yeah. You guys have recently also suffered a loss of your long-term bandmate, Andy Gessling, who's a little more than a year ago he died, right?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah. And we lost our founding guitar player in Hot Rice, Charles Suttel, much too young also. And it really changes. There is this DNA, this kind of chemistry that happens when you have the life experience of being in a band. It's really a whole different thing when you lose somebody who's one of those integral parts of the band, right?
Yeah, integral, obviously, to the sound of the music you create, especially someone like Andy, who had such a huge talent and breadth of abilities and was such a big part of the sound.
Yeah. And it's really unsettling when you lose that connection, but at the same time, you can't recreate it, so you have to forge on because we're bound and determined to play music, and we will, and you will.
Yeah, and it's been kind of remarkable, amazing things have happened as we, take the step to continue and
Yeah.
keep things going. We got by with, as they say, a little help of our friends. We had a bunch of folks from that music community step in and fill in for Andy at times. And we played concerts and kept the music going. Our fans were unbelievable.
That's great. In case you just tuned in, you're listening to eTown. I'm here with Todd Schaefer from Railroad Earth. New record. Anders Osborne at the helm helping you shape this thing. You did some tracking down in New Orleans. It looks like horns and strings and new songs and a new direction. Yeah.
Also, it was what you might call a destination recording. We went down to New Orleans, and part of that process was the five of us, after losing Andy, just getting together in a bonding kind of way and away from all distractions.
Yeah. And you'd worked with Anders before, and he's a great New Orleans resource for everything.
Yeah, Anders was unreal.
Yeah.
What a character.
Yeah.
And we had a blast.
Oh, that's so cool. Congratulations again on your success, and we're going to get back to music. Thanks, Todd. Good to hang out with you again.
Nice.
Yeah.
Thank you, Nick.
And welcome back, Railroad Earth.
You made a turn, you're headed for the backside. Underdogs are nipping at your heels. Rattle in the cage, trying to turn a page. The puppy stretches wobbling in your wheels. Better get yourself together, better hit one straight. Put one into play, 'cause it's started slipping away. Just a little while ago you held a trophy. It looked like you had it in the bag. And now with no mistake, doubt started to take. The confidence you had started to sag. Better get your head together, put one into play. Turn this story around or watch it slip away. Now where is that one? Where is that one going? Not where it should. Why did everybody grow? That can't be good. You made the turn, you're headed for the backside. Underdogs are nipping at your heels. There's water in the boat, your belly's still afloat. Blowing tight right on wobbly wheels. Better put one in the ferry, ride this ship okay. Get yourself together or watch it slip away. Better get your head together, put one into play. Get your motor turning or watch it slip away. Slipping away. Slipping away.
Railroad Earth. They're going to be back, play some more music in a little while. That's Todd Schaefer, Tim Carbone, John Cahan, Gary Harmon, Andrew Altman, Mike Robinson.
Your visit to eTown is made possible in part by the Scientific and Cultural Facilities District, or SCFD, one of the largest cultural funding mechanisms in the United States, supporting nearly 300 organizations in the greater Denver area. As a reminder, for your viewing pleasure, there are over 2,000 videos on the eTown YouTube channel, where you can also subscribe in order to stay up to date with our latest offerings. And if you'd like to join us as we wrap up our 2023 season, we're doing a special show taping at Mackey Auditorium in Boulder on December 14th. It'll feature musical guest Madison Cunningham and Rufus Wainwright. To find out more or to buy tickets to attend, visit our website, etown.org. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. You're listening to eTown. Railroad Earth will be back later on in the show. And coming up, great singer from New Brunswick, Matt Andersen, is here. But first, every week, we get to celebrate something that's working, something positive, story of somebody working to make things better. This week, we're actually featuring an organization out in California that's helping musicians when they need some help. And here comes Helen Forster to tell you more.
Thank you, Nick. Bill Bennet of Fullerton, California, joins us this week to tell us about the organization he leads called Sweet Relief Musicians Fund. It was started as a one-time CD project to raise money to help offset the costs of care for Victoria Williams, a musician who was diagnosed with multiple sclerosis. And she had to interrupt her tour, which at the time involved opening up for Neil Young. That meant she couldn't work, and she needed desperate help with bills, so a benefit CD project was launched to help her out. People like Lou Reed and Pearl Jam, Lucinda Williams, Soul Asylum, and many others recorded versions of her songs, and the proceeds helped her pay her bills. Well, the idea took root in 1993, and after a second CD release, the organization was launched that now helps and supports lots of career musicians who are struggling to make ends meet while facing illness, disability, or age-related issues. Now, Bill's here to explain how it's all working, so please welcome Bill Bennet.
Hi, Bill.
Hey, how you doing, Nick?
So Sweet Relief Musicians Fund, as Helen said, it started small, Victoria Williams and a CD project, but it was a great idea.
Yeah. And to her credit, when that album happened, which was to help her specifically, it did so well that she recognized most musicians don't have friends like Lou Reed to help them out.
Right.
And so that was kind of the beginnings of the fund itself. And
Yeah. She saw that there was abundance in this community and that it could, in fact, be applied on behalf of others in need.
That's right.
Cool. And the reality is there's lots of musicians who could use some help, right? They gave their younger years to traveling and touring and maybe didn't do a lot of planning or retirement planning or saving.
That's right.
And also probably, I think a lot of contracts were not the most generous back in the day where you could be riding the top of the pop charts, but, not making a lot of money.
That's right. One great example of that comes to mind is Lester Chambers.
Oh, yeah.
So, he was one of the brothers of the Chambers brothers, and they had that huge song, Time Will Come Today, and you still hear that on commercials all the time, and he's now in his 70s. In 2010, his ex-wife actually approached us and said, hey, my ex-husband, Lester Chambers, needs some help. And we said, well, what's going on? And at the time, he was living in an abandoned church with no roof. And we were like, how can this possibly be? We knew all the different people he had worked with, which included people like Alice Cooper and John Lennon. So we reached out to people like Yoko. And everyone jumped on board immediately.
That's cool.
Got him into a home. He needed a bunch of medical care as well, and it worked out really well.
Wild.
Yeah.
And is he a guy who had success but never got paid?
Exactly. So we hear that song all the time. He never sees a dime of it. And, it's because of the kinds of contracts that happened back then. And his story is not unique, unfortunately. That happens a lot.
So you guys can really make a difference. You come in and you really help somebody with their bills, manage their medical situation, and you get engaged with how they manage the dough as well, right?
Absolutely.
You don't just give them a big check and say good luck.
No. So we try to act as really good stewards. For all these people who are donating, we want to make sure we earn their trust. And so we typically pay third parties, the doctors themselves, landlords. We pay utility bills, groceries, whatever the needs are. But it's always something that's essential. And we don't just do like a one-time grant for a musician, which most of the other organizations do. We will stay with someone for as long as it takes to solve the problem.
It's cool. And do you think it's unfair that the music community has all this cool stuff happening and probably like the pottery community doesn't, or the Weavers Association doesn't have this kind of cool stuff happen for them?
Well, you're not the first person to say that.
I bet I'm the first person to talk about the Weavers.
Yes. Yeah. That's true, but when you think of musicians, they're also the first people any other group that is looking for help, that's who they reach out to
That's true.
to raise the money, right? So
for
you think
benefit
of
concerts.
every charity
Yeah.
of any kind
Yeah.
has musicians backing them. So I think it's only right that we give back to the musicians.
Yeah, that's cool. Bill.
Yeah.
That's cool. And so, Bill, is there a website if people want to learn more about how all this works?
Absolutely. www.sweetrelief.org.
Sweetrelief.org.
Yeah.
And I know there's criteria for like who's eligible and what level of success a musician must have achieved prior to being eligible for this kind of benefit. And I'm sure all that stuff's on the website.
It is very flexible, especially with the way the industry is now. You don't have to jump through a lot of hoops to qualify. Yeah.
When you meet people who are in need, how often do they not have health insurance?
It's certainly gotten better, but it's still higher probably than the average person because they're not working for a corporation that can help them. That's certainly a help. But if you have something like MS or cancer where you're going to be unable to work for, let's say, a year or two, having the medical bills covered is great, but who's going to take care of the rent and the utilities and things like that? So there's a lot more that needs to be done as a society. We have a lot of work to do.
We can be a little kinder.
Yes, we can.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, Bill, thank you for the work you're doing with Sweet Relief. And again, I want to remind our listeners, if they want to learn more, they can go to sweetrelief.org. Once again, this is Bill Bennet from Sweet Relief. It's good stuff.
Thank you, Nick.
Yeah.
All right.
Good to see you again.
You too.
Bill Bennet, Sweet Relief.
Wow, what a great story. If by chance you tuned in the middle of this segment and you'd like to hear the whole thing, as always, you can find this program for free through your favorite podcast distributors or on our website, eTown.org.
Thank you, Helen. Thank you, Bill Bennet. Sweet Relief, Musicians Fun. We have got more music coming up from Railroad Earth in just a little while. Right now, I'm going to tell you about Matt Andersen. He grew up in the little town of Perth Andover in New Brunswick, really close to the border with Maine, up in the woods. He got really good at singing. He focused on the blues and songwriting, and he's gone on to record and tour all over the U.S. and Canada and Europe and the U.K. He's won a bunch of awards in the blues world. He's also a good sport, we know, because the last time he was here, he shared the stage with the hip-hop duo Atmosphere, and they came up with a killer finale together because Matt was flexible and a game guy. But he's really a talented singer. We're so glad he's back. He went down to Nashville to make his latest record. Please welcome back to eTown, Matt Andersen.
It's so hard getting by these days as an honest man. I'm just trying to do my part, wanna lend a hand. Now when I need it, I can't get no help. Everybody's just serving themselves. Nobody's got time for an honest man. Well, all
So please welcome Nick and Helen and the eTones. You guys probably know how this works. They just, I found out about a week ago that I was coming in, so they've been learning the songs and they're nailing it, and I love it, and it's awesome, and it's great. Seems like more and more now that since everybody's getting really comfortable on the internet with social media, that people feel like they can say anything they want to say. And nobody seems to worry about whose feelings they're going to hurt, or what it's going to make them sound like, or what's going to make them look like an idiot or not. Anytime I see somebody saying something really stupid, all I can think is, would you say that in front of your mother? If the answer is no, that's a really good indication you shouldn't be saying it at all. Temperature short of crazy. Where will he roll through? You should know better than to think it. To think he's no better than you. If you see a line in the sand, find yourself another place to stand. Keep it cool. There's a reason to the rule. Take a deeper look at what you don't understand. Find another piece of the truth. Now what would your mama say? What would your mama do? What would your mama think if your mama could hear you? Well, you're feeling done wrong by the dollar. History is bringing you down. Anger makes you run your mouth off, 'cause your conscience ain't around. You keep trying to make it right, doing something you know is wrong. Yeah, you're pointing the blame at a guy who feels the same. Lay down your burning torches and the light will shine through. You've got to free up your point of view. What would your mama say? What would your mama do? What would your mama think if your mama could hear you? Lay down your burning torches and the light will shine through. You've got to free up your point of view. Respecting the old, but the new is today. Now mama never let her soul get turned away. What would your mama say? What would your mama do? What would your mama think if your mama could hear you? Yeah, she could hear you. What would your mama say? What would your mama say? What would your mama say? What would your mama say?
Matt Andersen. Matt, welcome back. Do you still live up in New Brunswick? Where do you live?
I live in Nova Scotia.
In Nova Scotia.
Yep.
So you've moved farther east.
Yeah, like a whole 4 hours.
And you still have family in, what is it called, Perth, Andover?
I do, yeah. My folks are there, lots of cousins and all that kind of stuff, yeah.
And I'm just trying to imagine, I was talking to Todd about this, like the little town you grew up in, 1,500 people right on the river, and it's kind of remote. And was there a music scene? And as a 16-year-old, could you have a party that would involve all the beer you could drink and no one would notice?
I'm pretty sure that's universal, I feel like. I don't know. But the music scene at home wasn't a public music scene. It was definitely more in the homes and in the kitchens, but it was a big part of me growing up. You know, every time the family got together, there was always music. And it was more something you just did. You never thought about being a musician, you just did it to fit in.
Because your parents played too, or your aunts and uncles?
My mom plays piano. My grandfather played fiddle. Lots of cousins played and sang. So,
oh, cool.
Yeah.
And was it kind of a contemporary music thing or a Celtic music thing, or what was the tradition that was floating around?
Some Acadian, some English kind of mixed in there, that kind of stuff, and lots of gospel. Grew up on a lot of that, and my grandfather only played gospel on Sundays, so you had to.
A lot of singing.
A lot of singing, yeah.
And then the last time you were here, I mentioned you're part of one of our favorite finales ever with you and Atmosphere, Ant and Slug. And we did a killer version of you, I think it was...
Ain't No Sunshine, I believe.
Oh, Ain't No Sunshine, yeah. That was really great. Did you ever hear that after it came out? Did you ever sort of like...
Oh, yeah, I checked that out.
Oh, cool.
Oh, you got it. What else you got to do in a hotel besides watch yourself, really?
I guess that's true. Hey, and more recently you went down to Nashville to make your new record, and with some familiar faces, at least to us, including the McCrary sisters, great singers.
They are the best thing you can do to your music, I think, having those ladies sing. Yeah, absolutely.
They're so great. Yeah. Are you worried about the difference between the records you make and when you tour? Because a lot of times you tour just you and an acoustic guitar.
No, everything's built around me and the acoustic when we go into the studio. You know, when we track it, we did it all live off the floor, so I was there with my guitar playing on everything. So it's pretty much just adding things and taking things away for the most part. I mean, there's definitely some things that are pretty amazing to have the band for. But.
Yeah. And then last summer you were on tour with Steve Miller and Marty Stewart, another couple of friends of ours.
Yeah, no, that was amazing. We I did 34 shows with them this summer. Yeah, it was great, you know, getting to watch. I mean, I sat in front of my stereo and learned their music, so it was amazing to watch them throw it down every night. They're just fantastic.
Yeah, that's so wild. Well, listen, I'm glad you're back. Glad you got a bunch of new songs, and we'll get back to music. Welcome back, if you would, Matt Andersen.
I've been in love a time or two, but all fades to gray when compared with you. Right from the start and all the way through, it's the easiest thing that I'll ever do. What we got now, it was all worth the wait. I guess we've both made a couple mistakes. They brought me to you, so I won't take them back. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. Had walked up to me when I was 16, I would have driven you home in my old man's Capri. If I laid eyes on you when I was 22, I would have sold my guitar and bought a ring for you. But what we got now, it was all worth the wait. I guess we've both made a couple mistakes. The past is the past, and we're not going back. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. 'Cause I love what you are, and I love what you're not. Yes, I love what you give, and I love what you've got. Making you happy, oh, it's never that hard. You've got that love in your eyes, you've got joy in your heart. What we got now, it was all worth the wait. Thank God that I found you before it was too late. The rest of our lives is all that we have. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. If you were my first love, you would have been my last. You're not my first love, but you're gonna be my last.
Thanks so much, everybody.
That's Matt Andersen. Canadian Matt Andersen. The record's called Halfway Home by Morning, along with some help from the eTones, Chris Engelman, Christian Teal, Ron Jolly, and Helen Forster. Matt Andersen.
This portion of eTown is made possible by the Bohemian Foundation, building stronger communities through the bohemian qualities of creativity and imagination. On the web at bohemianfoundation.org. And by our diverse family of NPR affiliates and community stations, plus college and commercial stations, as well as our international stations and podcast subscribers worldwide. Thank you for your continued support. Hey, if you're curious about eTown's home base, eTown Hall, our beautiful solar-powered music venue, community center, and recording studio in downtown Boulder, Colorado, you can learn more about it on our website, eTown.org. You're listening to eTown.
I'm Nick Forster. I'd like to say hello to our listeners who are hearing eTown on stations like KHOL in Jackson Hole, Wyoming, on WLGE in Bailey's Harbor and Ephraim, Wisconsin, on KFSK at Petersburg, Alaska. And to all those who are listening, I want to invite you to find out more information at the eTown website. See photos and videos and learn about all the things that are going on. You can even find out how to get tickets to live shows at eTown.org. Okay, so we learned some stuff. Touring musicians struggle sometimes. Not everybody finds success, and even if they do, challenges can come up, and there are organizations and communities that can rise up to help support those people in need. That's pretty cool. Right now, we're going to welcome back a band that has a real commitment built around their songs and their shows and their fans. Please welcome back to eTown, Railroad Earth.
Well, thank you all. Been a pleasure. Thank you, eTown, for having us. If I told you all about it, your head would spin. All the places
we've been and the trail of years left behind. If I told you all about it, I could write a book. All the crazy chances that we took. Aren't we lucky? Yes, we're lucky to be alive. All for the moment, all for the thrill, all for the hunt, all for the kill. Gone wrong. All for the moment. All for the song. If I told you all about it, it'd break your heart. All the good people that fell apart, and the trail of tears left behind. All for the moment, all for the thrill, all for the hunt. Gone wrong. All for the moment, all for the song. I'm gonna stare at the fire till the coast is clear. Sip my whiskey till I disappear, and contemplate these lonely, lonely stars. If I had all the money I threw away, I'd pack it all in, I'd fly today, or maybe I'd do it all again. All for the moment, all for the thrill, all for the hunt, all for the kill, all of the heartache, all that's gone wrong, all for the moment, all for the song.
Railroad Earth. Todd Schaefer, lead vocals and acoustic guitar. Tim Carbone on the violins, vocals. John Skian on mandolin and piano. Gary Harmon on the drums and vocals. Andrew Altman on the upright and electric bass. And of course, Mike Robbins on the guitar, banjo, and pedal steel. The record is called All for the Song. Folks, we got time for one more song. We're going to get everybody out here to do one more song, and I want to thank all our guests who stopped by eTown this week. I want to thank our interview guest, Bill Bennet from Sweet Relief Musicians Fund, letting us know what happens and how the community can come together on behalf of musicians in need. Thanks, of course, to Matt Andersen for coming from Canada down here to share his remarkable singing voice, his original songs. Thanks to Helen Forster and the eTones. Thanks to Railroad Earth. We were thinking about what song to do for our big finale, and we thought, why not, in honor of Matt, Look to the North. That's what led us to this song. I'm Nick Forster. Hope you can be with us next week right here in eTown.
There is a town in North Ontario, a dream come from memory to spare. In my mind, I still need a place to go. All my changes were there. Blue windows behind the stars, yellow moon on the rise, big stars falling across the sky, throwing shadows on our eyes. Leaves us helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, help me now. The chains are locked and tied across my door. Help save me somehow.
eTown's recorded at eTown Hall and produced by our donor-supported nonprofit organization. To comment about the show, email us at info@etown.org or connect with us on Twitter or on Facebook.
Blue, blue windows behind the storm. Yellow moon on the rise. Big birds flying across the sky, throwing shadows on our eyes. Leave us helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless. Helpless, helpless, helpless.
As always, distribution of eTown is made possible by our family of sponsors, this station, and listeners like you. This is a production of eTown.